Thought I'd put that out there.
Right. Well, hey, and I appreciate that. The thing is, we have to be able to, first of all, we have to be ready and we have to understand what we are getting involved with. What is it that we need to do to be successful? So again, that's why it's important to have an organization like Business Training Capital Resources. So I guess we'll talk to you, Ms. Johnson. Tell us, what is business? How did business Business Training Capital Resources come about? I mean, I was going to say it a different way, but yeah, what Dr. Brown said.
Well, by way of the Black Trades Council, I will say that. My mentor and advisor, George Edwards, been working closely with them for years. Their organization did really well in the city of Cleveland in the 90s. He has directed and guided me to say, go for it. You need to make a difference. You know the difference that needs to be made at this time. And we need skilled individuals. We need people that know how to do a job. And until we overcome some of those barriers of just not having the skill to do the job, how can you get a job?
Right.
So that's what we're here for. We're pushing the construction industry.
Okay.
But we're looking at all businesses because everyone needs help. And when you look at entrepreneurship, you're talking about very good entrepreneurs Entrepreneurs, how do you go about progressing as an individual in back office? Things that a lot of our minorities, our veterans, our ex-offenders, disadvantaged individuals in the community. And how do we assist them and get them back to work? I mean, everybody needs to work, not selectively. And in our communities, residents that live here need to get these jobs that are going on right here, but they're not skilled in order to be able to work. So
right, and that's what a lot of people are saying. Because right now Cleveland has quite a few different projects. Right now we got the Bridge Project, and of course we're downtown.
$30 million being spent right there at the public square.
Right, I ain't gonna lie to you, I was a little mad about that.
But it's like $16 million just to get from, I think, the Gun to 9th Street. I think that's the other project for the bridge.
Now she done dated herself when she called it the Gun to Ring.
I haven't lived here in years.
It is the Quick and Loan.
The Quick and Loan. Well, I live in Maryland, D.C., the DMV.
I'm messing with you. I had to think
but my heart is here in Cleveland. My family is here. My children are here.
Right.
I just don't reside here anymore.
But no, so you have a young person like, hold on, what's the Gun to Ring? The Quick and Loan.
Quick and Loan.
But no, at the same time, when you mention that, and again, it's really about change and really modernizing the city. So again, we do have these multiple projects, and even in the neighborhood that I live in, there's quite a few. There's a
hotel, some other ththings that were taking place.
Right there on East 9th Street, where the new Cuyahoga County building is. Right, and then there's a hotel across the street. Everything, but like you said, people feel like they're entitled, but they're not skilled.
Absolutely.
And that's where we come up short.
That's the obstacle.
Right.
Now we are putting things in place now to be able to overcome those barriers.
Right.
And that's what we really want to do, is assure that we can train individuals in the city of Cleveland to prepare them to go on some of these major job sites. Or if it's home improvement, maintenance, I mean, we can just go on and on, from plumbing to carpentry.
Right.
And everybody has a right to feed their families and not be on public assistance.
Right. Now, again, when you talk about the demographic that you are focused on, you talking about, first of all, minorities, females, which honestly is a big topic, because as far as fair wages and stuff goes, it's like, okay, well, I've gone to school and I've gotten a degree, but when it comes time for me to go get a job, they won't hire me.
Right.
But
you say school, and you say it's so loosely because everybody's not prepared to go to college.
True.
And a lot of it is, what do you do with your hands? Some people are average. They're everyday people
Mm-hmm.
that want everyday jobs that right in their faces, right on the main streets when you ride up and down in your community. You
Right.
should be able to go on that job. Why not?
Well,
Especially if you have the skills.
right. But then, so the question is, beyond what, if we just deal with that, what are some of the things that you all feel that can be done to deal with that whole fairness aspect, in the workforce?
Fairness. When I think of fairness, I think of partnerships.
Okay.
I think of rejuvenating,
Mm-hmm.
revitalizing, but it'll take a community. They say it takes a community to raise a child. It takes a community to change a community.
Mm-hmm.
So if we don't partner and find individuals that are like-minded and say we need to make a difference in changing the way that we do things and finding innovative new ways to approach training and making sure that the skills are there, soft skills.
Right.
And because everybody thinks just because I can hammer and I can do all those other great things and I'm skilled,
Mm-hmm.
I need to be able to still deal with people.
Right. And again, I was gonna say, because mind you, when you use that term, that phrase, soft skills, so like, what does that mean? You got soft hands or something, right? Yeah.
Entrepreneurism,
Right.
Yeah.
dealing with people,
Right.
dealing with people, relationships.
Right. Because even on a construction site, matter of fact, even with and I think they're almost done now with the 3rd District Police Department, over on Chester, all of that, in order to make that work, people really have to sit down, and, the architects and all that kind of stuff. But then even those who are working on that work site, they have to be able to work together. You don't have an electrician coming in while they're, still putting in beams and all this other stuff. Or you're not going to have a painter coming in painting and they still wiring the building. It's like, hold on, how you going to paint over? Not having...
Everything has its place.
Right.
It's order, divine order.
Right.
So until we change our way of looking, and when we're riding down the streets and we don't see enough of us on the job site, there's a problem.
Right.
If I can't say I know a friend that's on that job site, there's a problem.
Right. Right.
Until we can start saying, oh, my brother is on that, or my father is working on that site, or oh, the guy down the street,
Mm-hmm.
there's a problem.
Right.
And these work sites are right here in our community.
Right. Dr. Brown?
Yeah, I think that we've gone through a transition in this society, and it's affecting every city in America, in that back in the day during the Industrial Revolution, we could work for big companies like U.S. Steel or Bethlehem Steel, or and we were working with our hands. I mean, there was minimal training up to the specific job that you were doing, and we were working with our hands, and it was a body count thing at that time.
Right.
But we've moved from an industrial society, industrially based society, to a technologically based society,
Mm-hmm.
where it takes a computer just to fill your application out.
Right.
They're not even doing paper applications, and here's a young man or a young woman doesn't even know how to turn the computer on.
Right.
So there's a frustration there when the jobs are there, but the people skill level has not been up to par enough to qualify for that job. And then if there is underlying racism or discrimination, the employer can hide behind that, because he can say, I can't find any qualified black people.
Absolutely.
And so our mission at Business Training Capital Resource is to try to bring the standard up.
Okay.
Excellent.
Challenge the people
Mm-hmm.
that they can change, because, we're resistant to change. If someone says, you got to fill that out on a computer,
Right.
Why do I have to do that? I can write. Give me an application, I'll fill it out. No, we don't accept applications that way anymore, sir.
Right.
And then the person gets frustrated and angry.
Right.
And so we have to reconnect with each other, and we have to look at the economy and the society we're living in now. It's not based on the 60s and 50s anymore. And we have to upgrade our skills, and that's
Right.
what Business Training Capital Resource wants to do.
And I'm sorry to interject. And then when I think about it, even when you look at our schools, we hear the gifted program or the bad children or the disabled, the challenged.
Right.
But
Challenge.
nobody works with the average child. I mean, that child has a choice to go good or bad, but we leave them just in limbo. Then we need to concentrate on them, opposed to saying, if you're not gifted, we can't help you. But if you have major problems, we can help you. So,
Yeah, that's. So what do you, again, like you said, what do you do
The
if you're
average
in the
student.
middle?
You're in the middle.
I don't have a 4.5. I have a 2.7. I have all of my brain cells. I don't walk with a limp. I don't have any mental disabilities.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
and honestly, that when you mentioned, I'm glad you mentioned, about the whole college. Now, mind you, that's how most of us grew up. What do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a doctor.
A
I
lawyer.
want to be a lawyer. Now, what do you have to do to get these jobs? You have to go to school.
Got to go to college. Have to go to college.
But and
This is an alternative.
right. But then you have those, and I've seen them because they come to school. I've been to college, and I'm enrolled in college now, but they look out of place. It's like, wow, what am I doing here? Am I just here because somebody told me to come here? Or do I, and it's okay for me to just go to a technical college to where I'm right there, I learned my skill, and now I'm ready to go to
Now
work.
I'm in the workforce. I'm
Right.
working. And I guess the big plan is to be able to work with individuals that will work closely with us, that already have construction companies and they're already in the business. They need people that can work. They're looking for people and there's nobody to work.
Right.
So even when you look at our minority companies, they can't find skilled labor. So we got to figure it out. We got to make sure that we give them their needs and address them appropriately. And
Right.
not just sweep it under the table and say, well, we worked at it. We got to be accountable. And that's what we want to do, is be accountable in the city.
Right. And unfortunately, when you're talking about responsibility, well, you got to talk about responsibility to some aspect. Because again, some people, like I say, if you go back to the entitlement to feel like you just got to give me this, you got to give me that.
Right.
Honestly, nothing is given.
Got to work on
You
it.
have to get up and work. If you want to get a job, if you really want to get a job, you have to go out there and say, you know what, I'm going to go here, I'm going to go there. Some people will sit back and watch TV, like we talked about earlier with the children. Now, mind you, kind of crazy when you, Dr. Brown, when you mentioned the technology, because somebody, you said, well, I'm just getting them ready for the future. This is what they're moving to anyway. Now, understand something. There's a time and a place, not at 5 years old.
Right.
But, or even better when you do that, because like they have the different commercials, the ABC Mouse and all that kind of stuff. Now, if you're going to do something
Educational
educational, something that's going to, again, prepare them.
That's different. That's connected.
Right. And again, this is how, you are prepared for when you go to a job. And like you said, I got to do it on the computer. I know how to do that because I was doing ABC Mouse. So I was doing it's educational, or even better, it talked about, I heard somebody say that they do interviews now by Skype. Most people have no idea what a Skype is. What is that? You Skype interview? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. They're doing it so different now. And that even goes back to some of the parts of the training will actually be online.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, you only have to be in there. I mean, you still need your English, you still need your math, you need your basics. And we're putting a program together called Success Plus,
Okay.
which is incorporating a great deal of the skills that are needed to get employed, have employment, know you can go out and feel positive about what you're going to do.
Right.
And that's what we want to introduce into the city of Cleveland.
Right. And not only that, we talking about job readiness again. When you talk about the look, because even with a construction job, you can't just go to any job, regardless of whether it's construction, medical, whatever. You have to have a certain presence when you go there. There's certain things that they're looking for, as far as resume, employment, well, yeah, definitely a resume, some type of work experience, how.
But this gives you the opportunity to get the work experience before you even leave to go actually get the job.
Okay. Now,
Because
when
we're working closely with other construction companies, which are members of Business Training Capital Resource, that
Okay.
will actually allow these individuals to get some type of substantial monies while they're going through the program of going to school.
so basically like a hands-on,
Apprenticeship.
Apprenticeship.
wow.
Pre-apprenticeship,
Pre-apprenticeship.
Okay,
which
but
will go directly into an apprenticeship.
wow.
Yeah.
And that's again, some people hear that's like that's possible. Yeah, I mean, because you hear most of the time when you hear apprenticeship, some people will equate that to internship. So basically, and that's somewhat basically
It's in the same mindset. Because
Right.
what the biggest problem is, a lot of times, even when I graduated from college, do you have an experience? Well, no, I went to class.
right.
But still, they're saying we need. What do you know how to do? Well, I know how to do this, and my class said I can do that. But no, man, where have you worked at?
Right.
So this
right.
gives them the opportunity to have hands-on experience before actually having to go out in the workforce
Right.
and get some type of substantial financing as they're doing it.
Right. And that's important. Shoot, I ain't gonna lie to you. I wish my school. No, I ain't not gonna. I love my school. Don't let me get me wrong. Somebody said, "Where you go to school?" I ain't going to school. He going to school. No, I have a good time, honestly. And I think for me, that was one of the best part of one of my classes. My first semester was the hands-on opportunity. Don't tell me, oh, well, this is the part of the computer and that's that part of the computer. Well, why can't I actually see it? Even
Can
better,
I touch it?
right? I ain't gonna lie to you. When we went into the lab, to disassemble a tower. And they were talking. The professor was talking about, oh, you gotta do. I said, well, can I just be the one? I just want to be the one to take it apart. I want to deconstruct. I'm that person. Let me pull some wires.
Let me see how that works.
Right. Let me see. Okay, what if I did not literally? We had to set up a scenario. One of the activities we did, one of our assignments is we had to literally cause a issue in the tower. And
What kind of tower? Where are we?
a computer tower.
Oh, okay.
You had to, whether it was unplug a wire or plug it. Oh,
You didn't get violent with it, did you?
No, you ain't gonna blow
Take the green and the red and tap them together.
But you had to do something. You had to cause. I think it was like 3 problems to the tower. You had to create 3 issues, and then the other team had to come back and find those issues. Now, mind you, we talking about troubleshooting. This is hands-on. Me, I'm the person trying to pull all the wire. Okay, I didn't do that.
Yes, you did. You did it.
Okay, I took the. It was my partner that wanted to hide the wires in the
You
tower.
tore loose.
I took them all, but he wanted to hide them.
Oh.
But again, when you talk about hands-on, that's what's necessary. If I go to if I go to one of the help desk job, or if I wanted to work at a computer repair shop, they say, well, have you had experience? Yeah, I've actually touched the computer, not just looked at it or watched the videos online or something like that. It makes a big difference. So with that being said, because honestly, prior to that, what are you all actually looking for? Because mind you, in order for even a person to get involved, like you said, there has to be a certain level, a certain skill set that's already there. So what are you actually looking for in those people who are coming in?
People that have a need. We're not picking or choosing people that have a need.
Yeah.
And that's all of us. And that's why we're so inclusive of everybody. People that are hurting, disabled, disadvantaged, devastated that they don't have work. Everybody. Not picking or choosing.
Wow. And and again, somebody said, well, like you said, and let's talk about the ex-offenders, guys. Time go out too quick. Let's talk about ex-offenders, because that is another population that I've heard about. You hear a lot of conversation about, once I get locked up, or how many times, depending on what it is, if it's a violent crime or non-violent crime, nobody wants to hire me.
Absolutely.
For what you all are offering, how does that ex-offender benefit?
Well, a little bit different in our construction industry. There are some jobs that you can actually get now, some licenses that we're fighting against to assure that these ex-offenders will be able to be part of the workforce. I
Right.
mean, that's devastating. You come home and you're saying, I can't find anywhere to live. And I'm just going to give a shout out to Edwin's Restaurant.
Okay.
They're trying to assure that they give housing to individuals that are coming back from the penitentiary and putting them to work.
Wow.
And so until we all have that mindset to say, I'd rather put you to work than you hit me upside my head trying to work me to get money, we're going to all be in trouble. So we need to assure that we get them back to work, give them housing, give them a way to provide for their families because they're not familyless.
Right. Right.
I mean, but what we're doing is we're making them homeless.
True.
So until we start advocating for them, believing that mass incarceration is wrong, and they're getting work from them in the penitentiary, but then they can't come out and get work.
Right. Which is kind of counterproductive, especially, and it's always, I'm sorry. I mean, only because when you hear the names of some of these facilities, you use the word rehabilitation, but you're rehabilitating to do
Work
what?
for them. They're going in, they're working full-time jobs, making maybe 16 cents an hour, and then they come out and you can't even get a job, but you worked all while you were in the penitentiary.
Right.
So how can you justify that it's okay for them to work in an institution that's been in place by the government, but they can't come out and get a regular job?
Right. And I got even crazier. Because mind you, some of them go to school while they're
in college, get degrees.
And degrees. Yes, sir.
but then come out and can't get a job.
Or better yet, can't get out of the penitentiary depending on when you went in.
Wow.
Because that's what we're finding is a great deal that went before the laws changed. They were under the old system where you had to go in front of parole board to get
Right.
released. They're not getting released. They're keeping them as workers.
Wow.
Then they get out and they've been working, they've had degrees, and they still can't find employment. We went to an event in D.C. where a gentleman got his Ph.D., had been out of the penitentiary for quite a few times, and he couldn't go into the White House. So it was a group that went and petitioned that, and they signed some kind of thing where they actually let them go look in the White House, and the president wasn't there, but they weren't going to even allow him in.
Yes.
So it wasn't for security reasons.
Wow. Hold
So this is the advocacy kind of work that's going to need to be done.
Right.
And Business Training Capital Resource really is an organization that wants to get its power from the community. So civic leaders, church leaders, local, state, and federal government,
Politicians,
Right.
politicians, everyone.
business owners.
See, we have to arrive at a point soon, I hope, that we all realize that we have to take responsibility individually. Accountability and
Mr.
responsibility. Not to say I'm just one person, so I can't do it.
But I am my brother's keeper.
But I am my brother's keeper.
on.
But
It's kind of hard to say that when you're not actually doing it. I tell you what, we got to go to a commercial break because see, we not on the phone. We on the radio. We can't be talking like this. I got to cut off sometime. we are. This is Regional National Issues. I'm your host, Mr. Yancey. I have, again, the president and founder of Business Training Capital Resources, Incorporated, should I say, Business Training Capital Resources Incorporated.
5013C.
Right. Miss Louise Johnson.
Yes.
And the Vice President, Dr. Martin Brown, live in the studio. We're going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, I want to talk about what you all have, the Business Training Capital Resources Bill of Rights and Responsibilities. I ain't gonna lie to you, when I first saw it, I'm like, hold on, I did not see a constitution. Anyway, no, I'm messing. We're gonna talk about that when we come back, and we also gonna make sure we talk about the event that's coming up this coming Saturday. What it's called, the Community Engagement Initiative. So stay tuned. We'll be right back after this commercial break. Again, this is Regional National Issues. I'm your host, Mr. Yancey. Stay tuned.
Yeah. signatures to bill of rights.
Does he have a copy of it over there?
He looking at
Oh,
it
he's
on the
looking at it.
computer.
Okay.
He cheating.
Yeah, he's cheating.
So I was putting this here like you cheat
cheating,
too.
Okay.
See, I do
I
this.
wrote this so long ago. This bill of rights.
I
This
do
came from
research.
out of here.
I do research on
You're
everybody.
supposed to.
Yeah.
You do the right thing.
Let's
How long
see.
a break is this?
5 minutes.
Is there any bracket smoke?
You don't got enough time. No,
No,
you have
you
to
got
wait.
no-
You don't
Patience is a
smoke
virtue.
anyway, do you?
I
No.
sure don't.
You gonna have to wait. You'll be fine. It's good for you.
She's talking to me like she's a
I
non-smoker.
smoke. I smoke cigarettes, but I'm okay.
Oh, I'm okay too. I just wanted to know if I had enough time to
You
go.
don't have enough time.
No.
Cause you know how far you gotta go. You gotta go down that elevator.
Yeah,
over
I
If
got
he
it.
was a
that thing,
smoker,
go
he'd have
outside.
somewhere up here, but he's
He'd
not
have
a
figured
smoker.
it out by
Yeah.
now. But
I
he's
stopped
not.
smoking years ago.
Oh, good for you.
Oh
How
yeah.
did you stop? What you did?
Cold turkey.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
My sister's going through that right now. She's like, I just can't go cold turkey. I did it for like 4 or 5 months, about a year ago.
You know what? What it was for me, it was the business. It was my dedication to what I was doing.
So
Amen.
you're cutting your life short.
Right. Not only that, just vocally speaking.
Oh,
You
okay.
know.
It was ruining your throat. Your
Huh?
voice. It was ruining your voice.
Right. Not only that, then you gotta do a lot of movement. Like when I do certain events, you gotta do a lot of moving and walking and stuff like
Stay
that.
strong.
Right.
Taking your breath away.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I stopped doing that mainly. I never forget when I was, because at this time I was still in the business, and we be running. Like I said, even if we're not, because we didn't do a lot of playing. We did a plane one time when we went to California,
Okay.
and that was the only time. But most of the time we were driving and stuff like that, and we running up and down Manhattan trying to get somewhere. That is a bad feeling to be trying to run up and down the daggone hallways and down the street when you smoke.
When you're out of shape, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm sitting there.
Them bill of rights and so on.
I thought about it said copyright 2015. It said copyright 2015. So we look up there.
Oh, no,
now.
it just changed.
She changed.
That was actually done in 2014,
She
and
put
I don't
it out
know
in
if
the
it
archive.
updated and
Oh yeah, it
changed.
updates. So yeah, I'm messing with you.
Yeah, right now, that was done a year ago. No, we were incorporated April 4th of last year.
Right.
That's when we incorporated. We've just been moving forward ever since.
I'm messing because my
I
website.
noticed
doesn't
that just recently. I'm like, why did that do that?
Yeah.
And I didn't ask the IT person, which is on our board, but
It updates on its own, mainly because you want to make sure that your stuff is always protected.
okay.
Like you said, if you go to my website, I designed our website.
I did all of the information and data that went in it, but our
Mhm.
IT person dropped out whatever I did. Like I had already set up the Bill of Rights like that and
Mhm.
different things. All the information I put in. I would write it, and then piece by piece it's just been going in and being set up. It's like you can see how it goes in and out on the front page with the initiative showing up
right.
and you can click
Slideshow,
there and then
yeah.
the donation got put on months later. Each piece,
Uh-huh.
we just did our membership and with individual along with business.
Oh yeah.
So all of that's just been done recently. I like that music. I like that. I like that.
And we are back. We are back. This is Regional National Issues. I'm your host, Mr. Yancey. And I have the president and founder of Business Training Capital Resources, Miss Louise Johnson. I'm telling you, Aunt Lois, I still think about you.
That's okay.
That just tells me I need to call my aunt. That's all I said. But Louise Johnson, again, president and founder of Business Training Capital Resources Incorporated, as well as the vice president, Dr. Martin Brown, is live in the studio with me. And we are talking about, again, what the different services that the Business Training Capital Resources offers, and some of the people they work with, and definitely the demographic, that they're the group of people that they're trying to really help. Because again, it's no different. And this is where we kind of come. We have the similarity because, mind you, what we deal, you have a lot of different avenues, a lot of the different media outlets that want to deal major, but you have all these independents, these people that are really struggling, that really want to make it, but have no opportunities. So somebody has to give them that opportunity or give them that chance to say, hey, this is what I do. Can you help me? And of course, that's what you all are doing as well at Business Training Capital Resources. But not only that, you all have a philosophy, because that's what it kind of comes down to, a philosophy of what you all feel that people deserve, or what they should have, what they should be able to do. But you all call them the Business Training Capital Resources Bill of Rights and Responsibilities.
Well, that means that the community is just as responsible as you are responsible to do a good job.
Right.
Meaning you should have the right to have employment. You should have the right to feed your family.
Right.
You should have a secure job. You should have the right to have benefits.
Mm-hmm.
That's health benefits. That's sick leave. That's all the things, personal days. You have that right. But what do you do to have those rights?
Right.
You got to be a good worker. You got to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do the job. You got to know what you're doing when you get there. So we want to make sure that you have all your skills intact to be everything you need to be. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, we feel like our community owes us something.
Right.
But how can I owe you if you don't do what you're supposed to do?
Right. And see, again, in the job market now, or the job industry now, the workforce now, a lot of these things that you all feel that people have a right to they're not really getting it, and in a different market. And it's kind of crazy because I love the store, they're very inexpensive, but up until recently, Walmart got a bad rap.
Absolutely.
For how they treated their workers
and what they paid their workers.
Right.
I think they said if they only added a penny to one of their own personal products, I think the macaroni or something, they could give everybody a raise.
Wow.
At Walmart. Yeah.
But yet I can't get off work. If I take off, I might be in trouble. I might get my hours cut, or there's no sick leave, like you said, or everything that a person needs, because things happen.
Absolutely.
Things happen. People go through issues. Matter of fact, had a young man that was supposed to come down tonight to the show, who's working. We were actually working with him on getting his own show, but his girlfriend died.
Oh.
I mean, I'm sorry, not his girlfriend died. God, that sounds terrible.
That was terrible.
But his girlfriend's grandfather died.
Still, it was a death.
Right.
I'm gonna miss you.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, in situations like that, I'm not, because he kind of misunderstood me, and I'm saying this, because it sometimes it happens, people misunderstand, but he felt like I was sounding insensitive because I asked him, because he told me I'm gonna come down. I'm coming down, Mr. Yancey, I'm gonna come down. But when he called me today, I was like, okay, are you sure you're gonna come down? Because when he told me, a family member died, I was like, okay, hold on, wait a minute. You're gonna come down here and do this show, which I appreciate.
He was showing his dedication, or attempting to show his dedication.
Not when your girlfriend is sitting there crying. No, you not. I mean, this
he's not here either.
Right. Well, I'm not saying that's. I mean, he's with her. He's with her.
Absolutely.
But again, in certain situations, you go to certain jobs, they don't care if nobody die. You need to be at work, or you're not gonna have a job. You might as well be dead along with them. But that honestly is not. If you go to these big Fortune 500 companies, they have these illustrious benefit packages and 401ks and all kind of stuff. But in all honesty, that should not just be in a Fortune 500 company.
It was a gentleman in Oregon that just did something so phenomenal and so great. I think he made $1 million a year. And what he did is he decided, I'm going to take all his employees made from $25,000 to $40,000 a year. Mm-hmm. He took everybody up to $70,000 a year, and he took himself down to $70,000 a year, meaning now the playing field is fair. It just happened. It was in the news.
Now, Dr. Brown, I don't
Come on,
know
Dr.
exactly.
Brown.
I'm gonna say
Go for
I
it.
don't know. I don't know exactly what you have your doctorate in.
Mm-hmm.
Humanities.
Humanities.
Okay, now again, you heard about this whole thing, and mind you, they're really pushing for Hillary Clinton. You know, she's running for president, and this whole wages equality kind of thing, inequality thing. How many CEOs do you really think is going to take a pay cut?
Well, it's a start because he's made national news.
Okay.
So other CEOs will see that and say, well, maybe they won't break it down from $1 million salary to $70,000. Maybe they break it down to 500,000.
Right.
You know, so the point here is that we're, as Americans, we're in the position we're in right now because primarily of greed. It's a greed issue.
Right.
And the rich are getting richer and the poor
Poor is
are
getting
getting
poorer,
poorer.
and the
Right.
have and the have nots.
The spread, the destruction of the middle class.
Right.
It's economics. This is an economic war we're fighting here.
Right.
And we must stimulate the economy. And what better way to do that? People are working, people spend money.
Right. Not only that, and see again, we always talk about global competition. You know, that's another thing. Again, we talk about being job ready. You know, and knowing what being able to do, and again, having that fairness in the workplace. Because I again, some things just come to mind, so I got to remember exactly where I got it from. But there was a situation overseas. I think it was at an airline where he took a pay cut, and everybody. So I mean, the guy that did it here, that was national here, but overseas, that happened there, and he was just as comfortable getting on a train and everything. Somebody like, hold on, you're a CEO of a big corporation, a big business, and you're. He said, man, why not?
Why not?
Why
I woke
not?
up just like you did this morning.
Right. You put your pants on with two legs.
One leg at a time.
One leg at a
Right.
time.
You got 2 legs on. Not unless some people got. No. I'm not. But the thing is, you know.
I think the belief that you can do it and that you can make a difference, that energy coming out of your spirit, that's the difference between, to me, successful people and unsuccessful people.
Mm-hmm.
Successful people believe that they can do it before they become successful.
You don't have to be
Right.
born successful.
That's right. And this is my God-given and alien, a right to be productive, to give back, to serve my community. And I'm going to do it. If I have to do nothing but volunteerism, I'm going to get up every day and do something.
Okay.
To make the difference.
To make the difference. And that's really what we're trying to do, is get the community to kind of re-engage in itself.
Right.
And believe again that each of us can make a difference, and we're going to stand as a company to show you that we're going to fulfill our end of the deal if you will meet us halfway to fulfill yours.
Right. Now, that brings up an even better question, because, you know, some businesses, when you say that, you know, well, you asking me to do this and do that, what do I get out of it? How does a business benefit? And I mean, and this may be a little harsh, but you know, because you know they say, well, okay, so what, we getting employees, you know, we can get them anywhere. How do businesses benefit from partnering with you all?
Well, for one, you'll have all the skills needed to actually do the job. You're going to pass OSHA, meaning rules and regulations and compliance. We're talking about individuals that may not even have a GED. We're preparing them. If you're not prepared, nobody's going to hire you. If you don't know how to go on an interview, nobody's going to talk to you.
Right.
You don't know how to. It's to know how. And a lot of times we don't know how. We take for granted that it's just simple and it's easy. You said it from the very beginning. But what do we put into it?
Right.
What do we go back and say, I can do this. All things are possible. I have to believe it to conceive it.
Right.
But if I don't believe it and I say, well, everybody's doing bad. You know, when we put this organization together, the joke was always said, we did it on a shoestring budget and didn't have shoes. So,
now I think I've heard that one before. Okay.
yeah. So we had to start somewhere. It started with just a dream, saying we can do this, and we pulled all together from different walks and different times that we all have dealt with each other at different points. And we said, let's do this together. We can do this. We come from fundraising to economics to sociology to educators,
Right.
and consultants and various levels. And we joined together from city to city. We're not all from the city of Cleveland. We're from Missouri to Virginia to D.C. to Maryland. We have people that want to come aboard in New Jersey and in Georgia. We've been asked, can you come here to Oregon? I mean, that's a beautiful thing when people see it. But you need to go look at our website, www.btcresources.org. Look at it. Take a chance. We may have a great opportunity for you. Right now, we're looking for a structure, a building here in the city of Cleveland to make this team come to fruition. So that's what we're really doing. So we can do that. Right now, we're going to find a facility where we can just train and do some of the pieces of the training. But we look forward to that happening really, really soon. We've been walking and working with some of our council, looking at buildings as we speak to make this thing, as I said, come to fruition.
Right, and that's something again. Wow, my brain just started. I'm trying to figure out who I could get in contact with, but no, that again, that is awesome. Again, you all, because like I say, first of all, you all didn't start this here, and that's the one thing that people. Another question people ask: okay, well, you all are coming here, so. You all worked in you said the D.C., Maryland
That's where
area.
the national office. I actually grew up here in the city of Cleveland. Lived in D.C., Maryland 10 years ago. Came back, resided back here in the city. Decided employment was readily, and I went back to work there. It was easier to find employment. Now I look back and I start seeing different things on TV, and I became really disturbed about my home, my city, where my son and my daughter and other individuals still live here, my mom, and it's a concern. I feel like if you don't do it at home, why would you go do it somewhere else?
Wow. Yeah, we kind of had that conversation before the show started, but that's a touchy subject. But it is important to, again, like you said, come back to where you come from or where it all started,
Absolutely.
so to speak. And really do what you can to really change the environment, because and this is the question, and I tell this story sometimes, and as we talked off the air, and in regards to where I originated. I didn't move here. I wasn't born here in Cleveland.
Okay.
But when I moved here, everybody had the question, because I told them I moved from Chicago.
They said,
everybody asked me the same question.
Why'd you move here?
Why'd you move here? And I'm sitting there, mind you, again, as we talked off the air, I'm a military kid. Military brat, however you want to say it. But, I was born in Fort Gordon, Georgia. We moved to Arizona, moved to Virginia. And then, unfortunately, my parents separated. So I moved to Chicago, moved back to Virginia, moved back to Chicago. And now I'm here in Ohio.
In between the two.
And I really don't see, I don't ever move to a city to look for the bad.
Look for the good.
I go looking for potential. Even when I've traveled, I don't always go and say, well, where's the nearest housing estate at?
Yeah.
Where's all the low income? No, I'm not looking for that. I mean, I know it exists. But
Everywhere you go, all over the United States.
Right. I mean, true enough, if that's the work that you do, then of course you're going to look for that. But, somebody who's looking for opportunity,
Well, I came to look for the devastation so I can help the people.
Right. But again, this is the thing, though. That there's opportunity here,
Absolutely.
which unfortunately the people some of the residents that live in Cleveland, some of the citizens of Cleveland, they have basically given up on, and matter of fact, I talked to a friend of mine who is talking about moving to Texas.
Well, we talked on the way on the road here. We talked about hope. We talked about faith. And we talked about love. And how did all of those have something to do with this organization? Dr. Brown, you want to speak about that?
Yeah, well,
And I'll help out.
what we're trying to do here in Cleveland is based in hope, faith, and love. We want to restore the hope. I think that a lot of people, not only in Cleveland, but in many inner cities in America, have lost hope. So they're not striving to do anything anymore, but sit home, collect, if they can get some monies from the government, great.
Right.
But we want to restore hope by rejuvenating the community and helping them get jobs. See, once you have jobs and skills, then you can begin to feel a sense of hope.
Right.
Yeah. And then the second quality is faith. I think that we need to deepen. We've lost some of our faith in all of this. We don't really believe that we can do. We don't believe in each other. We don't believe in other organizations. We don't believe in our government. We have lost faith in us being each other's brother's keeper.
Right, right.
We've lost. Oh no, that's not happening no more. Right. I'm not my brother's keeper. Oh yes, we are our brother's keeper, and we're all intricately interconnected.
That's the love. That girl of love. Talk about.
So you can go over here and say, "Well, I got my job, so it's I'm good." And not be connected to the person that doesn't have a job.
Right.
But that person that doesn't have a job and their family will cross you. Might cross you in a robbery. Might cross you in a drug overdose. They're going to cross you.
Right.
We're not in this world alone. We're all interconnected spiritual beings having a human experience.
Right. See, and for those who listen to these broadcasts, no, I call that the me, myself, me, myself, and mine syndrome. Me. Right. Me, myself, and mine. I'm taking care of my family's okay. We good. You know, I talk about that quite often, and unfortunately, you know, like you said, and matter of fact, even when they talk about the food banks now, you know, why you thinking, oh, because they come and they look good here, you know, they eat free lunch, whatever, but when they go home, there's nothing there. You know, these people are walking right next to you, but because your head is so far up your behind, or on your shoulders, or wherever you decide to place it, you know,
it's not in the right place.
Right.
Not in the right place.
You know, your head is somewhere. Your brain is not focused on the overall picture. It's just focused on, I'm taken care of. This is what works for me, and or even better, I got it. You can get it. You got it.
But the only time you really find that real prevalent is when you look at individuals that say, "Okay, well, I'm fine, and I don't know about you, but I'm going to get over and I'm going to keep moving. But if they're not going to make it, it's the crab syndrome. They're going to stop you from making it."
Right.
So until we help everybody make it, you got to worry about somebody pulling you back into the pot.
Right.
So we need to make sure everybody can get out the pot, especially if it's hot.
Right. Now, again, because we already got unfortunately, we got another company. I can say unfortunately.
That's a good thing. We got commercials.
Right. But before we okay, I'm see, this is when you run your own stuff. It's like, okay, again, when you talk about what the community brings to the situation, what and other than jobs, is there anything else that the community could provide to, again, help those people that are, you know, attempting to gain employment or become job ready? Are there any other services that you all are looking for other than just, you know, apprenticeship programs? You know, because I know you all mentioned
we're doing
the church involvement
with corporations, and that's on another scale, even for your computer skills, and just assuring that you have everything you need as an entrepreneur. And right now, we're working closely with the company.
Stop. You just said a key word, because mind you, again, you have those that are going to work first, but that entrepreneur, like me,
right,
I don't want to work for nobody.
We have programs for you. Programs for you, right. Especially for you.
Right, but I mean that, and again,
leadership program. We have an awesome leadership program. Our trainer is phenomenal, and they've covered a great deal of some of your most famous writers when it comes to leadership. They put together a really good package. So it behooves the individual to even come and take advantage of some of those things as they come along.
Right.
And we'll have different times of the year that we will offer some of those ones for our corporate. And that's
Okay.
more like seminar, lecture, where you'll have the opportunity to ask questions and speak to some of the experts in those particular arenas.
Right. And see, that's very important, not to say, because I still somewhat work for a business, organization, and I love it because I do at-risk youth mentoring. And,
Awesome.
that's, for me, it's not, like you said, it's not just about doing what I'm doing now, but giving back,
Giving back.
And then, of course, Little League football, that's just, I love that.
That's fun.
I love it.
I was a Boy Scout leader, tin mom, whatever you want to call it.
Right,
All of
right.
it. Yeah, real active. It's always good though when you participate with your youth.
Right, right.
It makes a difference in the end result of what you get back.
Right, but like I said, when we discuss being an entrepreneur, again, there's a certain work ethic that comes along with that. There's a certain, even a skill level to be an entrepreneur, because you have to make sure that you are putting the right pieces in place, whether it's the staff. You don't want to just have a bunch of family. I think that's rule one. I mean, not to say that it can't happen, but
That's really difficult. That's
right.
Cool.
Oh my God, who's the president? Me. Who's my vice president? My daddy.
My daddy.
Who's the secretary? My mama.
We sat in when we initiated this and decided we were going to go forward, we sat in some classes. And that was one of the biggest concerns. And when we sat in, it was a great deal of individuals that was their testimony.
Right.
And they was like, well, what have you done with that? I said, well, we reached out to different individuals that we've known throughout the years that are experts at what they do.
Right.
And it was like, well, wow. Well, my mom is the so-and-so and my dad is the secretary. And I mean, it was just a family affair. And they said, very seldom do those organizations really grow.
Right.
They become trust funds. And it was another category of things that they put them in when they were talking about. They weren't really an organization, a 501(c) such as ourselves. It's hard to even get some of the recognition to get the funding when you put a program together. It's just like if I was sitting saying, I'm the president, I'm the vice president, I'm the secretary. You had organizations that sat there in that class that one person was the whole
Everything.
organization.
Whole enchilada.
See, me, I'm not one of those kind of people. I'm a delegator. Yes. You what? You wouldn't. Hey, hold on. Can you do that? You can. Okay, good. You producers. I'm the executive. I'm not the technical producer. I'm not the associate producer. I'm not the sound engineer. I'm not all that. Like right now, I do kind of play, but no, guaranteed. I'm not trying to be all that, because again, that's first of all, that's selfish. And again, when we're talking about growing the community, when we're talking about providing opportunities, if you doing everything, well, what is somebody else gonna do?
How do you give an opportunity when you're the everything, when you're the be all?
Right. And then how you say, is it the be all, end all? Because when you die, everything
dies with you.
Like,
Take it
hold
with
on.
you.
Right. Well, it's like, hold on.
Do you know the
has
business?
power rail networks?
A lot of businesses that have happened right here in the city of Cleveland.
Wow. Well, I tell you what, if we don't go to commercial break,
We
I might
better.
be one of those businesses. We're going to go to commercial break. When we come back, we're going to continue this conversation. We also definitely have to talk about this event coming up this Saturday, April the 18th. In Case Western, on the campus of Case Western Reserve University. So stay tuned. This is Regional National Issues. I'm your host, Mr. Yancey. I have, again, the president. Do me a favor. Move those headphones. There we go. I do have the president and founder, Louise Johnson of Business Training Capital Resources, and Dr. Martin Brown, vice president. We will be right back after this commercial break.
Okay,
You
break time.
didn't want to talk about Workforce Innovation Act, the federal.
Pardon?
Did you want to talk about the Workforce Innovation?
No, we're going to talk about the event now.
Okay,
We're
we're done.
about done.
Okay.
What time we finish? Oh, butt hurt.
Oh, yeah, you can get up. You can sit down.
Ouch.
I meant to ask you, want some water?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you do that? You just sit there so patiently.
There's a difference between the chairs.
Oh, is that dirty?
He's got a back on his chair. He's got
Playing
spins.
dirty. And then he tells you, I just got a better seat than yours.
I didn't want to say it like that. I mean,
Well, that's what you said.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Well, thing is, I'm working on getting
Thank
better
you so
seats,
much.
You know.
I'm fine. I'm enjoying your company immensely.
See, that's the stuff that I do. I'll go and take the whole bottle of water. I'm like, who's coming to drink a whole bottle of water?
I was about to slow it down.
If you go out the door, make a right, it's going to be the first floor on the left.
Okay. Their names
Who's that?
people that's like you.
Oh, yes. I see you got the Dawson brothers.
Oh, Wayne Dawson. Fox 8 News. Larry D. Ivory.
His brother's real good, though. I had a chance to see his brother.
Now, I had him do I did a gospel. I used to be over youth ministry in Kent at Bread of Life. And I joined with the high school and did a gospel fest. And he came and emceed that for us.
Who's that, Wayne?
Oh, Wayne Dawson.
No, but his brother, because you have his brother on there, too.
No, I didn't say the Wayne. It says Wayne Dawson, Cleveland Fox 8 News.
No, his brother's on there as well.
Not on my invite.
Mm-hmm.
Not on my invite yet.
Okay, well, maybe I was looking at Judge Ryan.
Okay, fine.
Let me see, because I don't know why.
No, we didn't. Only one of them. I didn't even know about them.
Yeah, you never met his brother? Mm-hmm. Judge Dawson?
And, no, I sure haven't.
Yeah, he's
and I know we used to go to a lot of the NAACP dinners and a lot of the different functions they would be at, but I've never met him.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought both of them was going to be there.
I think I'm going to change and put on my flats. I like when the music comes in.
And,
Who put that together? You did that?
That's actually, well, I am the person
You
singing.
did it. Hey.
See, you got me trying to do something I don't usually do. I'm not the type of person.
Stop.
And we are back. I'm about to see. That's why I can't talk to you. We gotta talk over the phone when we should start going off on everything else. But this is Regional National Issues. I'm your host, Mr. Yancey, and we've been having a great conversation with Miss Louise Johnson, who is the president and founder of Business Training Capital Resources Incorporated, and Dr. Martin Brown. Yeah. Don't you like, dang, won't he introduce me everywhere? Dr. Martin Brown, Vice President of Business Capital Resources.
I just want to start clapping.
It's like, man, wow. So that's what it sounds like. I am available for hosting events and everything else. So,
And you sound great.
But in all seriousness, we've had a great conversation again talking about the different services that Business Training Capital Resources provides, and definitely their mission and their dedication to helping those minorities, women, ex-offenders, be able to be job ready, so to speak, and not only that be job ready, but actually get the experience that's needed to be job ready. Not just talk, so not just have how you say as they what they call book smarts, but actually have hands-on experience. So that way, when they go to a job site, it's like, what do I do now? I already know what to do because I just did it yesterday or last week or whenever. But now, and matter of fact, because Dr. Brown, only because you mentioned it during the break before we talk about the event, talk about was it? Would you say workforce initiative or?
Oh, the workforce innovation.
There you go.
Act, which was just passed in July by Congress. And the president and the Congress realized that empowerment of the workforce is very, very important right now if America is going to maintain its position as a world leader. So they have set aside this program to uplift the skills of Americans. And Business Training Capital Resource will be working hand in hand. That money comes from the federal government through the state government to the local governments.
Wow.
So we'll be working through them to secure grants, get donations, and so on to fund the programs that we're interested in doing to uplift our people.
Right, and that's very important. And, I mean, we don't want to have to get political. You know, I mean, we can, but at the same time, you really have to think about, you know, the government. What does the government do to make things better? You know, a lot of people have had the questions. Well, all they care about is the 1%, and you know, keeping money in their pockets and tax abatements and all kind of, you know, rebates. And it's like, well, how do I keep money in my pocket? And of course, if you're a philanthropist, then you're doing a great job. You know, that's an automatic. How much did you give? How much did you write off? Oh, I gave $100,000 to this organization. I gave $250,000. Oh yeah, I got to write off quite a bit. But you know, especially with small businesses, and of course, you know, again, even those without even in business, taxes are killing them.
Well, yeah, and I think that's the beauty about being a 501c. You know, because it does alleviate some of the taxes that you would pay as a profitable business. It's a nonprofit.
Right.
We're working because we want to work. We're happy about helping the people. And as I said, we're both in situations where president, founder, vice president, we're not taking the executive role where we get paid. We don't get paid for what we do right now.
Wow.
We work hard, but we don't get paid.
Oh, gosh. Flashback. No, I'm just, like, I know exactly what that is. Wow, did I get sleep? How much sleep did I get last night?
Well, we have other gainful ways of receiving funding or monies.
Right. No,
but we don't get it for what we're doing right now. This is just totally from our heart thing that we want to give back to our community.
Right now, I'm messing because some people,
right.
when people, you know, when you're so dedicated to doing stuff, everybody else is asking about money. You're like, hold on, did I get some sleep last night?
No,
I did not. I went from one job to the next, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Well, it's about leaving a legacy. It's bigger than just today.
Right.
You want to be able to, and I may not get a chance to read the textbook, but I would love to be in it.
Right. See, that's, God, man, y'all using some very key words. I use that word quite often, that legacy word. Most people don't even understand what that word means, but it's very important. Again, when you're talking about our youth, and even again, this is how that conversation always comes back earlier. How are we preparing our children? What are we as parents doing to, first of all, be a role model? Because we can't tell them to do anything that we're not doing ourselves. Right. You know, again, that's the one. Again, another great thing. I don't know if you all thought about it like this, but you all are really setting the precedents for the next generation. Because when their parents decide, okay, let me go and get training that I need so that, first of all, I can get a job or I can really put my skills to work. Now, when I go home, my child says, Mommy, Daddy, what are you doing? Oh, I went to school or I'm going to work. And even just the idea of continued education, regardless of whether, like you said, whether it's college or it's technical, that's still setting the precedence for the next generation. Hey, you can go beyond high school. There is more training out there if you want to really be, like we say, job ready, or being able to have the skills needed to have gainful employment, to where you're not just, first of all, hold on, versus having a job, you have a career.
A salary.
Right. And
Something you can live off and pay your bills and still go to the shopping center afterwards.
Right.
And not just enough to put gas in your car or food on the table. You should have a right to go to the mall. You
Right.
should have a right to go down to the Quicken loan. See, I got you that time.
Hold on. So you gonna give me a message. Now, what's the name of the baseball field?
And that's terrible because we do have the silent auction this weekend, and the Cleveland Indians have donated a gift,
But where
a
do they play
signature baseball from one of its players,
But where do they
Carlos
play at?
Santos.
But where do they play at?
Come on, you're not playing fair. The field.
Progressive field. I'm messing.
The field.
You probably still call it Jacob. Like,
a
is it still
Jacob field.
No, it's not
Progressive field. And the Cavs have donated a silent auction autograph. We're still waiting for that to come in. The Browns have did a donation with for the silent auction.
Ooh, in the conversation. No, I'm
No,
messing.
we're not going to do our Cleveland Browns like that, are we? Oh boy. Well, we're really
Are
pushing
you
our
okay?
silent auction.
Okay, I'm sorry. Are you a Browns fan?
I'm a Cleveland home-fed, bred and raised.
See,
Love my Browns.
watch.
Everybody laughs.
I ain't even gonna hear from her.
Wait. We have parties whenever the Browns come on TV in Maryland, and everybody laugh at us. They come over to the house and they say, "Oh, you're really into those Browns." We have our brown outfit and our hats, and we're cheering. we played the Redskins. And we won all the way to like halftime. And everybody was sick. They wouldn't talk. All of a sudden, when we got to the other half and they started winning, everybody started cheering. And we were still cheering because we're so used to being in that situation.
Oh,
We still have fun. We're true diehard Brown fans. Cavs, Indians, we're just in.
this is why you need to go and join Business Capital Resources, because you can learn how to be a winner. You can learn how to gain the skills to be a winner on a regular basis, and not just. Mind you.
That was mean.
Now, let's keep it. I'm gonna be honest with you. Now,
You're a Bulls fan?
I sure am.
Oh my God.
I'm a diehard Chicago Bears, Bulls, White Sox, Blackhawks.
Well, I feel
Chicago
the same way
Fire.
about my town, my fair city.
And you praise the Lord.
I don't know where the park is at, but I know they
Praise
changed the
You-
name since I moved.
Yeah, well, and I'm gonna guess you gonna pretty like them uniforms that really look. Anyway, look,
let's do that. Stay off of my Browns and my Cavs.
Okay, let's talk about the event, because I'm gonna get myself in trouble. She ain't even gonna call me after the day. But anyway,
We falling out right now.
We still cool, Dr. Brown? We cool?
Yeah.
Well, he's not a Browns fan. He's from wherever. No,
York.
I'm just joking.
From wherever. See, look, that's how them Browns fans are. They forget about everybody else. You from where? Oh yeah.
We're the dog
It
pound.
doesn't matter.
Right.
I could be from the moon. She doesn't care. You
That's
got a
not
Browns.
true,
You're not
Dr.
a Browns fan. Oh, come on now. But they are diehard. She's not.
We cheer regardless.
She's not telling a story, and she's putting the same kind of energy into Business Training Capital Resource here in Cleveland because she loves Cleveland.
Right.
This is her home. This is where she was raised. This is where her father and mother have made their footprint in the stand.
Absolutely.
This is where her children are, and Cleveland needs, as many cities in America, to be uplifted. It
Right.
needs to be rejuvenated. It needs to be refreshed, not just downtown Cleveland and
Yes.
downtown. Oh, it's always downtown, but don't go outside of downtown. You're gonna see a whole nother different situation.
Right.
So, I go along with her obsession with the Cleveland Browns because it gives her the obsession with business training capital
You're a
resources,
good-hearted man.
and it gives her the obsession and the good-heartedness to
God bless
understand
you.
the importance of
God bless you, Dr. Brown.
you're not being nice. You're not being.
If we're talking business, we all on, we're for it. And now you're gonna okay, let me stop. I'm gonna wait till we get off the air because I'm gonna really mess with you because I looked at your logo for a minute and it looked like the Browns colors, but
Oh, you know what? You're right.
you didn't even think about that.
Our Browns colors.
Yeah.
Wow.
See, some habits die hard. Some habits die hard. Anyway, let's get to this event because it is Saturday, and so talk about what. First of all, is as I mentioned, like I said, it's on the website. If you go to our website www.whohaspowershow.com and go to our WHCP in the community page, that'll be the first event that you see under our upcoming events. It's the Community Engagement Initiative, which is Saturday, April 18, 2015, from 8 a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. on the campus of Case Western Reserve University, Tinkmanville University Center, located at 11038 Bellflower Road, Cleveland, Ohio, zip code 44106. Now, when people come there on Saturday, what can they expect?
Well, you're going to have great guest speakers that will share informative information about business development, which is Larry Ivory from the National Black Chambers of Commerce. That is the keynote speaker for that day. We look forward and thank Wayne Dawson for emceeing that day. We were able to engage the governor's office, which is Lynn Stevens for Minority Affairs. She'll be speaking that day, along with Latoya Walker Minor from Public Affairs from the Mayor's Office.
Okay.
Along with Reverend Hilton Smith, NAACP President and Vice President of Turner Construction.
Which is a very big construction company.
Absolutely. They're everywhere, all over the United States.
Right. So
Which
that's
is
going to be a
really
very
great.
big speaker.
And it appears that we're going to work adjacent as we travel through state to state to do exactly what we're doing here. This is the pilot. This is the sample to take everywhere else.
Right.
Along with the Honorable Judge Michael J. Ryan.
Right.
He will do the opening and closing prayer because he is a pastor as well. So we look forward to just really having a good time. We're going to have a silent auction. There's other opportunity of things to be able to bid on that day.
Right.
From memorabilia to a janitorial service gave a 2-hour cleaning service. Then that's for your home or for your office.
I think I might need to get in on that.
Yes.
Sorry,
Professional cutters. They even put a silent auction gift up. Along with Edwin's Restaurant, they gave out dinner for two that someone will be able to bid on that. But we got some nice autograph things from our sports teams here, which I think is really great. And don't say it again. We're going to really fall out.
I want us to be friends after this event is over.
Okay.
We'll
be friends. Wait. And I'm going to have you go directly over to the silent auction table and look at all of the great things that our teams provided that
Like I
day.
said, and I'm going to be honest with you, there's only one team I sincerely support. It's the Cavs.
Great.
But they're still number 2 to the Chicago Bulls. Anyway.
I'm going to let you get away with that one.
Hey. As long, and I tell people in a minute, as long as they're not playing the Bulls, I support the Cavs.
Okay,
But
fair enough.
When they lost to them, when the Bulls lost on Easter, I did not like the Cavs. I did not care what nobody said. It was not a happy situation, and we didn't even have Derek. Do we have Derek? I don't even think we had Derrick Rose back yet either. So y'all was really having a good time. Yes, no Derrick Rose. He's,
You know what? I get it. My moral support will be in tomorrow. No, Friday. He's from Chicago, from Gary, and he's like, "Well, you know, you gonna go watch the game this evening?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, why not?" I said, "As long as they're not playing the Cavs, we're fine."
boom.
So we watch them only when they're not playing the Cavs. Now, when they're playing against each other, I watch it at home, and he watches it at home. He's a neighbor, and he'll be in town for the event.
Oh,
so we got quite a few people coming in from D.C. and
Make sure
Maryland.
he stops by. Yeah.
You'll get that. You know what? I'll bring them over to the table while you're over there doing the media that day.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to. Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna love that.
Fellow Chicagoans.
He loves Chicago.
Go
Yes, he
Bulls.
does. Yes, he
White
does.
Sox, not the Cubs.
Oh boy.
Oh, y'all don't know? Come on now. We don't. Everybody who knows about Chicago knows if you're on the South Side, you're a White Sox fan. You're on the North Side, you like the Cubs. We don't mix. We do not go to each other's games.
They're rivalry teams.
Every time I see it come across my news feed, the Chicago Cubs are winning game. I don't care. But anyway, that's just a personal
Well,
thing.
I think this is going to be a great networking, and we usually talk about networking, and I think we say it so loosely, but we have no true dedication to it.
Right.
I think we're going to put you in an atmosphere that will allow you to truly be able to mix and mingle amongst individuals that'll be there that day.
So that means bring plenty of business cards and flyers or whatever you can do, whatever is necessary to really promote who you are. Not unless you meet, which means I don't have enough time to network for maybe about 2 people because I'm going to talk them half to death. No, I'm messing. It's like, hold on, this event was over at 1 o'clock. It is now 3. Brother, did you ever stop talking? Tune in Wednesday night from 7 to 9 o'clock.
And you can hear me some more.
Right, we can continue this conversation. No, but honestly,
we really want you guys there. I mean, I think it's a great opportunity to actually meet some of the individuals that make some of the decisions that really makes a difference in what'll happen next.
right, and that's what's very important. You know, can't say, oh, I don't know what's going on if you don't get out there and find out. And not only that, because it's also on your website and it's here on the flyer as well. Even if you can't make it, you know, not even just for this event, but if people want to give donations, how do they donate to BTC?
Go right on our website, www.btcresources.org. You'll see donate on every page.
We need money.
We need money really bad because
Right.
we really want to get this facility going here. And it's going to take the community to make this happen, along with just like I said, we're fundraising, we're looking at grant funding, we're working closely with the city, we're along with the council in different areas. We're working to see if we can find a facility that is conducive to what we really want to do. We're going to even meet this one gentleman on Saturday that has a great idea for showing that we can get a building.
Wow. And that's very important. Again, you mentioned again the website. Of course, this is that even though this has been out, how often do you say you're gonna have to do? I know you mentioned annually. At any point in time, you all going to have something throughout the year.
Absolutely.
Know,
We look forward to doing a big picnic for Labor Day weekend. Yeah,
Free
we've
food?
already started looking. Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a great event, another big fundraiser.
Okay.
Big fundraiser. We're looking at a couple of major artists coming in for that event, and you will get further updates on that. I think we're going to do a bigger advertisement and marketing piece, something that I think we thought we captured the audience that we really wanted there, but I think we could have did a little bit more to assure that Cleveland is represented that day, because we have so many media that will display, national media that will show what's going on in the city of Cleveland. I love the fact that Mr. Yancey has this show to share with the city, but we need to show the United States that we're doing something in Cleveland and we're making a difference, but we need to be there and we need to show up. We need to see us there.
And that's very important. You know, and you did mention that you don't want somebody else to come to your city and like, okay, so what's going on? And is only you all talking. Like, okay, so where is all these other Browns fans that love their city so much, and they, want to see progress. But, when it comes time to come out, and even if you don't come out for that information, even if it's just for the networking, I am from a personal testimony, from personal experience, networking makes difference. If anything, if nothing else, that's how I keep guests on my shows, because you got to get out and let people know, hey, this exists. We want to highlight, we want to promote what you're doing, and if possible, that we can somehow set up a partnership or collaboration, or like you said, what we mentioned, possibly doing an event next year.
Well, we're not even just talking about the event. We're talking about your anniversary. Your
right.
anniversary coming in August.
Right.
And what was the first thing? What can we do to work closely with you and adjacent with you to make something great happen in August for you guys who has the power?
Right.
We want to make sure you keep the power.
Right. And not only that, the power's not about me. The power's about them.
But it's about the people. But if they don't know that you want to do something phenomenal for August, it took me to just say, we want to help you continue to have this as a platform for individuals to hear everybody.
Yeah,
right.
That's right.
Well, I tell you what, we gotta get out of here. Any last words, Dr. Brown or Ms. Johnson?
Thank you, Mr. Yancey. Thank you so much for having us on the show. We thank you, Cleveland, for allowing us to even be at Case West Reserve on Saturday to highlight and show what we're capable of doing and what we want to do. We want to bring excellence to the city of Cleveland and not mediocrity.
Wow. Oh, you messed with me on that one. I was that close. She's talking about business. We gonna have a conversation after we go. But again, I appreciate all of you tuning in again, whether it be live or archived, because all these shows are recorded, and you can definitely go to www.mixlr.com/WHTP Radio Network to listen to either this show or any show that we've broadcasted here on the Who Has Power Radio Network. We got to get ready to get out of here. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for Synergy of Life Holistic Health and Wellness Radio with Mikael Nube and Renta Hermeka. I'm hoping she's back in the studio. I know she had been sick, but definitely make sure you tune in tomorrow at 8 o'clock right here on the Who Has Power Radio Network. For Ms. Johnson and Dr. Martin Brown, I'm your host, Mr. Yancey, and remember, as always, no excuses.
Thank you, Mr. Yancey. Thank you. Great.
Yeah, usually I tell people because people start talking before the microphone goes off. But that actually worked that time.
I got it in there in time, I think.